Now, to introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Moselane. Thank you for joining us tonight. Welcome, and we thank you for being our speaker for tonight. Over to you.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Good evening to everyone that is here. I would like to welcome everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time just to invest in yourself. So before we start, I just want to say, just sit back, breathe in, breathe out, relax, and enjoy this session. So I am now Moselane, the CEO of Architecture Life Mental Health Global Institute, and I'm here to help you build mental wellness and resilience. Now, traveling the world and working with so many people, there's something I've realized. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. One thing that I've realized is this: people that are very joyful in life and people that are living their best life, most of them have mental resilience. Most of them invest in their mental well-being. Now, what does that mean? It means these people understand that things do not happen by accident, right? You have to actually plan to ensure that you have a plan in place where you invest in your mental well-being so that in your life you can get the desired outcome that you want. Now, the other thing that I've realized around the world is that some people have big dreams. Some people wish to live good lives, but there's no plan in place to develop the mind, the capacity that will get them to that life. No plan at all. And isn't it interesting that as humans, when you think about it, we have many plans. We have financial plans. We have family plans. We have traveling plans. We have saving plans. We have so many plans. And I go around asking this question: what is your mental health plan? What is your mental development plan? Most people will say, I don't even have it. What are you talking about? Do I even need that? Well, if things work out well because you plan for them, so when you plan for your finances work because you have a budget, what makes you think that when you have a plan for your mind, things won't get better for you emotionally and mentally? So many people, and I want to pose this question before we even go anywhere to you: what is your mental health plan for this year? Do you have a development plan? Do you know what you're going to do with your mind? How you're going to develop your mind? Because I understand this. The most important thing in life is you. The most important thing in this entire life is you. It's not your money. It's not your resources. It's not your work. It's you. A human being is the most important thing in this life. Now, if you are not aware that you are the most important thing in life, what you're going to do is you're going to believe or think that everything around you is more important. So going to work is more important. Getting your finances right is more important than you. All of these things that I'm mentioning, they are important, but you are the most important being. You are the most important thing in this life. If you are broken, nothing in your life will work. If your mind is falling apart, nothing in your life will work. You will always feel overwhelmed. Your emotions will be all over the place. You will not enjoy life, and you will feel like your life is chaos. Why? Why would you feel that? It's because you are not aware that you are the most important thing. Therefore, you need to take care of yourself. And from the place of taking care of yourself, then you can take care of everything that is happening in your life. But it's interesting that we don't even have a plan, a mental health plan, a mental wellness plan. We don't have a plan to take care of our brains. Every morning, wherever you go, when you're driving to work, I think you see many people jogging, some people going to the gym to do some workouts. So people are investing in themselves. People are investing in their bodies. People are investing in their skills, right? People are investing in themselves. But the question is, are we investing in our mental well-being? How many of us Do we wake up in the morning, intentionally invest in our mental well-being? Because the quality of our mental well-being will determine the quality of our lives. If you are not investing in your mental well-being, then don't be surprised by the quality of your life. Because your mental well-being, your mind is so powerful. Your mind is so powerful. It's in control of your emotions, in control of your beliefs, in control of your behaviors, right? So if you don't take care of your mind, you are not taking care of your emotions. You are not taking care of your behaviors. You are not taking care of yourself. And therefore, you will always get an outcome that you do not want in your life. So do you have a plan to take care of your mental health? Do you have a plan to take care of your mind? And as a suggestion, I would like to start there. Please take some time to sit down and just think, what is it that I'm going to do this year to ensure that I grow mentally, to ensure that I build my mental resilience, to ensure that I am healthy mentally? What is it that I am going to do this year? And you write those things down and you ensure that on daily basis, you put it into action, you implement it. Everything that you're saying you're going to do to ensure that you invest in your mind, you build your mind, that every single day that you do it. Because truth is, we don't become mentally healthy by accident. We have to put in the work. We have to be intentional. We have to be extremely serious, because your greatest asset is your mind. If you're not taking care of your mind, if your mind is falling apart, then your entire life will fall apart. Now, it's a normal thing that when we are experiencing troubles in our lives, the first thing we want to fix is the trouble, right? So we want to focus on the trouble, fix the problems, whatever is not in alignment with our plans, whatever is not in alignment with our vision, we want to fix those things, right? We become so intentional on fixing those things, right? But I always say, focus on fixing your mind first. Focus on fixing your mindset. And then from the place of fixing your mindset, you can fix your problems. Because so many people are so focused on the problem, and we are not denying the fact that the problem is there. What I'm saying is that you will not be able to overcome the challenge. You will not be able to overcome the obstacle when you are not building your capacity to do so. All right. So in this webinar, the most important thing that I want you to take is that you are the most important thing. And it's about time that you take some time, that you be intentional about investing in your mental well-being. Now, as we get into building mental wellness and resilience, please, I want us to start here. And this information is in one of the presentations that I will share, is that all of us are born into a complete world, all right? We are born into a world, into a reality that we do not choose. So most of us, or all of us, we have different backgrounds. Most of us, we have different backgrounds. So we are born into a complete world. Now, I want you to take this into consideration. Please do not blame yourself for something that you cannot control. Do not blame yourself for your background, where you come from, how you are brought up. Do not blame yourself for the family that you come from. If you are born in poverty, you are born in poverty, and that was not your mistake. It's not you. It's not your fault. Now, I see many people make a mistake of blaming themselves of where they come from. I come from a, poor environment. Man, I don't know. This life doesn't want me. I'm a loser. Please, 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 please. Don't blame yourself for something that you could not control. You are born into a reality. Here you are born into a reality that you cannot control. It's fine. All right. But do not blame yourself for that. I know some of you right now, you are sitting there and you are thinking to yourself, but many people are born into a better environment. I mean, look at me today. What's happening with my life? Please don't blame yourself for that. Why am I saying this? And why am I emphasizing this? If you blame yourself, when you blame yourself for something, it becomes extremely difficult for you to fix it, right? It becomes difficult for you to actually take responsibility for it. So when you blame yourself, what's happening is that already you fall into a victim mindset where you are like, you know what? I'm a loser. I cannot fix this. It's over with my life. I cannot go anywhere. Please don't do that. Please don't do that to yourself. You are the most important thing. So do not do that to yourself. All right. So do not blame yourself for where you come from. Number one. Number two, do not see yourself as a victim, but see yourself as a participant. Do not see yourself as a victim, but see yourself as a participant. That, you know what? I was born in this environment. I participated in this culture, right? Now I have the chance. I am mature enough to make my decisions and build the reality that I want. So, number one, please forgive yourself. I cannot achieve my objective tonight if, number one, you keep blaming yourself for where you come from and you're victimizing yourself. I cannot achieve my objective tonight if you are also not forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself. Let us start fresh. Forgive yourself for your past mistakes. Forgive yourself for everything that did not go right. Forgive yourself for your past failures. Forgive yourself for everything that has happened to you. Please forgive yourself. And let us start afresh this evening. Can we please do that? Because once we do that, I'll be able to achieve my objective to say, forgive yourself. Have you made mistakes? Of course, you've made a lot of mistakes, but forgive yourself. Did you intentionally make some mistakes and you know you did this purposefully? Of course. We are human beings. We do that sometimes. But please forgive yourself. Okay? Please. And I will emphasize this because it's important. I need you to operate from a place of rest, but you can't operate from a place of rest while you are blaming yourself, while you are being hard on yourself, while you are judging yourself. We can't go anywhere. Have you heard this? I think most of you've heard this before. Have you heard people saying that, in life, you must be hard on yourself to be successful? And to tell you the truth, I grew up believing that so much, that you got to be hard on yourself. You got to, judge yourself. You got to push yourself to the limits to become successful. Until I became successful. And I realized that it was so unnecessary for me to judge myself so harshly just to get to this place. You can become successful mentally, emotionally, financially, socially, while you still take care of yourself without being too hard on yourself. And this is the truth. This is the truth. You don't always have to beat yourself down. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't always have to beat yourself down in order for you to achieve your highest success. No. You don't have to do that. Take care of yourself. And from a place of self-care, you can do anything that you want. Okay? From a place of self-care, you can do anything that you want. Now, I'm going to share my presentation with you. And please, you'll also get the presentation. I believe they're going to send it to you as well. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to share this presentation with you so that we go. Now, as I started, I said to you that you are born into a reality that is complete. You are born into a complete world, right? Before we were even born, there were already buildings, there were already projects, there were already industries, there were so many things were already here before us. Now, when we are born into a complete world. Now, that means that you have a role to play in this life. So therefore, I repeat this, you are important, right? You have a role to play. You have a purpose to achieve in this life. Therefore, I repeat, you are important. Now, in this life, there are things that are called life activities. The first one is information, right? In this life, how do we grow as humans? Mentally, how do we grow? By receiving information, right? Our brain grows through information. We get developed as human beings by receiving information, right? So part of the function of our brain is to take in information interpret that information, store that information as a memory, and establish that information in our lives as a word, as a behavior, or as a program, right? But we get information in this life, right? Number two, we've got responsibilities. There are many responsibilities that we have to fulfill from a young age. A child must mature enough to start walking. So we all have responsibilities. And the other part is there are many experiences. As a person, you're going to be exposed to many experiences. And number four is community, social life. There are people that we have to live with. There are colleagues, family members, people around us, but there are people that we need to live with. So these four things, I call them life activities. Now, let's start with information. And please pay attention. Now, your brain is a makeup of your DNA and of your environment. So your brain is a makeup of your DNA and your environment. So as a person, you are unique. And your brain is as unique as your fingerprint. No one will make the same decisions as you. You can have a twin, but your brain is still as unique as your fingerprint. Now, when we look at the part of environment that impacts your brain, that shapes your brain, from your environment, you receive information. And the information that you receive as you grow up as a person, what it does is that it shapes your mind. It shapes your belief system. It shapes how you're going to behave. It shapes how you're going to feel as a person, your emotional state. Now, I want to ask you a question that is very vital when it comes to building mental wellness and resilience. As of today, when you look at your life, how do you think your past is currently affecting you? If I was to ask you, describe the impact of your past on you right now, will you be able to do it? Because sometimes we are not aware of the impact of our environment on us. And I'm asking you this question because I want you to be aware that your environment has shaped your mindset as well. And the question is, in order for you to be aware, how do you think your environment, your past environment, where you grew up, how you grew up, has affected you as a person today? Right? And the other future question or present question I want to ask you right now is, look at yourself as a person. What type of information do you focus on? Do you focus on negative information or do you focus on positive information? Negative information about yourself or positive information about yourself, right? Negative information about the world or positive information about the world? Because we cannot deny the fact that there's a lot of information in the world. So much negative information going on out there, but there's also positive information. And my question is, you as an individual, which or what information are you focusing on? Are you focusing on negative information or are you focusing on positive information? Right. Now let's go to responsibilities. I'm sorry that I'm going so fast. I'm just trying to keep up with the time. Let's go to responsibilities. What are your responsibilities as a person? And are you able to fulfill all your responsibilities? Right. So please write them down. Write all your responsibilities down and pay attention. Are you fulfilling your responsibilities or not? Now, you see, the power of mental wellness and resilience is that once you develop your mental wellness and your resilience, you will be able to fulfill your responsibilities to the highest capacity. So my question is, looking at yourself today, are you able to give your best when it comes to your responsibilities? Or do you find yourself sometimes you don't know what to do with your responsibilities? You feel overwhelmed by your responsibilities. So the question is a personal question. Are you able to fulfill your responsibilities? And are you satisfied by the level in which you are performing when it comes to fulfilling your responsibilities or not? And it could be work responsibilities, family responsibilities, school or study responsibilities, whatever responsibilities you have. Are you satisfied by how you fulfill them or not? Just a question. Now let's go to experiences. Please remember the statement that I'm going to make. Life will always throw unpredictable circumstances at you. Right? You will always be exposed to some of experiences that you never anticipated. bad experiences, losing a loved one, maybe a failure, right? So now, please understand this. We cannot take away the fact that we cannot control the general life. We cannot control the entire life itself. You cannot decide what life is going to throw at you tomorrow. But this is the positive thing. Here's the positive thing. You can always control yourself. Isn't that such a great thing? As much as I know that I cannot control life, I know that I can control me and how I respond to life. Now, when you are able to control you, when you are able to manage you, let me tell you something. You are in a journey of living a successful and a joyful life. When you are aware that I can't control human beings. You can't control whether your spouse is going to be faithful to you or not. You can't control whether people are going to like you or not. But you can control how you respond to all of this. How have you been responding to circumstances in your life? How have you been responding to negative experiences in your life? Because that says a lot about your mental well-being. I think it's time that we let go of trying to control everybody around us. It's time to let go of the burden of trying to control everything around us. We can't control everything, but we can control ourselves. There's a statement in theology that says, it is easier to rule over a city than to rule over yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the most important thing in this life. Please work on managing you. Work on taking care of you. And from the place of self-care, then you can take care of everything else. My question is, how do you respond to life? How do you respond to negative experiences? In this journey of mental health, currently, I'm doing some training also in the UAE with mental health. And I've realized something, that many people go into negative experiences and immediately they make a negative conclusion. My life is over. This is too much for me. I will not be able to achieve this. I can't deal with this. This is overwhelming, right? Already they have a negative conclusion for negative experiences. And I came and I said, listen, how about we ask a question? And this is what I want to bring to you as well. When you are faced with a negative experience and you feel that this thing is extremely difficult for me, please do not make a negative judgment or a negative conclusion to say your life is over, or you will never overcome this thing, or you will never make it work. But rather ask yourself a question. What can I do to make this work or to make this better? How did I get here? And what can I do to improve this? So what you are doing is that you are opening your mind to possibilities. You are giving yourself a chance to think. You are giving yourself a chance to analyze this situation before making a negative conclusion. The moment you make a conclusion, you are closing the possibilities of solutions. So your mind is not going further than your conclusion. But the moment you settle down and say, how did I get here? And what can I do to make things better? What can I do to rectify this thing? You are opening your mind to possibilities. And the power of the mind is a mystery. It is a mystery. You will find yourself in a position where you are able to come up with solutions because you are not already making a negative conclusion. Now, I said to you, you are not responsible for the reality that you are born in. But ladies and gentlemen, you are responsible for the reality that you create. And the reality that you create is going to be determined by your mental capacity. Now, when you look at the pointer on the screen, it says building personal capacity is about developing a mind that is capable of overcoming negative life signals to create a reality that you want or a reality that you desire. Now, what I'm describing there is mental wellness and mental resilience because they go together. When we speak of mental wellness and mental resilience, we speak of a mind that is capable of overcoming every negative circumstance or object to achieve its objective. Now, my question is, looking at your life, looking at yourself, do you have that mind that will enable you to get you where you want to get? You see, all of us have the potential of getting wherever we want to get. We all have the potential of living a good life, right? We all have a potential of being joyful, of being happy, but it takes the mind. It takes a capable mind. And I'm saying to you tonight, your mind is capable, but your mind needs you. Your mind is not going to get there by accident. You need to build it. You need to work on it. You need to plan for it, right? You need to every single day invest in your mind. Ensure that you build personal capacity so that you are able to live the life that you want. It's not by accident. Now, for the reality that you create, you take full responsibility. The decisions that you've made, all right, the way you feel today, the behaviors, your belief system, all of those things, they are your responsibility. And they determine how you respond. 4 things that determine how you respond in life is your cognitive, your beliefs, your emotions, and your behaviors. And all of these 4 things are a product of your mind. What type of thoughts do you have? What type of decisions do you make? How do you feel? When you find yourself in a difficult situation, how do you often feel? On a daily basis, how do you feel? How do you often behave? Are you happy with your behaviors? Are you happy with your beliefs? What do you believe about yourself? Are you negative about yourself? Are you positive about yourself? Those are the questions that I need you to think about. All right, now let us go. Let us go. I want us to, just in 5 minutes, speak about the red zone. Now, the red zone is a bad state of mind that produces an unwanted reality or outcome. Now, what does that mean? It means in your subconscious mind, you have the programs that you do not want. In your subconscious mind, you have programs that give you a life that you do not want. Of course, consciously, you have a desire. Consciously, you have goals. But every single time when you engage with life on a daily basis, it seems like you are doing everything the opposite direction. You want to feel happy, but now you're feeling sad. You want to do good things, but now you end up behaving in a way that you don't want to behave. You want to feel good. You want to have positive beliefs, but every single day you see yourself, everything is going the opposite direction. It's because in your subconscious mind, you have bad programs. And when I say bad programs, I mean the programs are bad for you as an individual. I don't know what type of life you want, but whatever life that you want, you need to ensure that in your subconscious mind, you have the programs that will give you that life. Now, if you see yourself on a daily basis, every single time when you engage with life, you are always getting the opposite of what you want, then we need to ask a question. What is happening in your mind? Now, the red zone is a bad state of mind. This is where you have bad programs in your subconscious mind. Now, we know that the subconscious mind is in control of at least 95% of our days. Now, let me put it like this to you. People that know how to drive, do you remember when you started learning how to drive, how difficult it was? You were so scared. You were panicking. Cars around you. You were panicking. And you didn't know how to drive. You were so fearful. And you are so fearful. You were panicking. You were so stressed because this was not a registered program in your subconscious mind. But as you are practicing, you are doing it over and over again. You are being consistent. Suddenly, you knew how to do it. Why? Because you practiced it. Now, today, when you go to work, you don't think about driving. You just get in the car and here you are at work. You don't even count how many cars are there, how many people are hooting around you. You are not even worried about that. Why? Because you know how to do this thing. It's like your second nature. Now, when we speak of mind programs, we speak of things that are your second nature, right? What is in your mind What do you believe about life? What is going on in your subconscious mind? What type of programs do you have? Now, when we speak of the red zone, we say it's bad programs that give you a bad lifestyle, that give you a bad life outcome. Now, you have negative thoughts, negative emotions, you say negative things, you make negative decisions, your behaviors are negative, and your perspective is negative. Now, this is a place where you experience a lot of stress, excessive stress. So you are not able to even control your stress. This is a place where you experience anxiety, and sometimes it goes as far as depression. You feel like there's no sense of control over your life. You are not thriving emotionally. You are not thriving mentally. You are not thriving. You are simply surviving. You are in a survival mode. You feel like you have no purpose. Everything to you feels meaningless, and you are unhappy. You have mixed emotions of sadness which affect your life negatively. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the red zone. And there are many ways people get into the red zone. Maybe it's your surroundings, the people that are around you, right? Maybe it's your workplace. Maybe it's not being able to deal with all your responsibility. Maybe it's the information that you focus on. But there are many ways there are many ways in which people can get to a place of red zone. And my question is, do you relate with any of these things? Do you find yourself right now being in the red zone, where you feel like there's no purpose in your life, where you feel like you are not in control of anything in your life? You are always stressed out, always stressed out. You are always fearful. You feel like you always feel sad. You are going the opposite direction. You are only survival. If this is you, please listen to me. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Because truth is, sometimes life can hit so hard that you find yourself in the red zone. Sometimes really you build yourself, you work hard, you do your best, and you still find yourself in this state. And I want to say to you, I am so sorry. And I want you to know that it's possible to get out of this state. It is possible to get out of the red zone. And now there's another one that we call the blue zone. Now, the blue zone is simply the opposite of the red zone. Now, this means you have positive mental programs. All the programs that you have in your subconscious mind, they are really giving you the life that you want. Your stress is in control. Your mind is relaxed. You are growing, you're progressing, you're advancing as a person. You are establishing positive behaviors. You have a good lifestyle. You are achieving your desired outcome. It doesn't mean your life is perfect, but it means there's progress in your life. Let me tell you something that is interesting that I've learned in mental health. Is that many people get into a state of the red zone where they experience anxiety, excessive stress, depression, because there's no sense of growth in their lives, right? It's like everything in their lives is out of order. So there's no sense of growth in their lives. And one thing that we can see about life is that anything that does not grow eventually dies. So one of the purpose of a human being is to grow, is to progress. Medical doctors will tell you this, that every single day you are maturing as a person. You are growing. Your body is maturing. You are growing, right? It's nature. When you don't grow, whether it's in your finances, whether it's emotionally, whether it's in your social life, when you don't grow in one area in your life, that area will frustrate you. You will feel so frustrated because you are not growing in that area. Why? It's because we are designed as humans to actually mature and grow. Now, we get into the red zone when there's no progress in your life. And I want to ask you a question. To be honest with yourself, when you are honest with yourself, when you evaluate your life, where do you think, or when you analyze, where do you see that there's no progress here? Make sure that you write every area in your life where you don't see progress. We said the first step to fixing a problem is by writing it down, and then it means you fixed half of that problem. Now the question is, what are the areas in your life where you don't see progress? And then once we can identify those areas, then we can work on those areas. Now, as we are in the blue zone is a state of mind that gives you a life that you really desire. I've come to a point where I fully believe that any person can live the life that they want. You can really be joyful. You can have a successful marriage. You can have a successful career. You can build the life that you want. But it doesn't happen by accident. You have to work on it. You have to build it. And you can't build that life without a strong mind. And the blue zone, it's a mind, it's a resilient mind, a mind that can bounce back from any situation. Right? Because when we speak of resilience, it's two things. It's your ability to bounce back, and it's your ability to overcome. Now, you need to build a mind that is capable of overcoming in your life, overcoming circumstances in your life. And you need to build a mind that is able to bounce back from every circumstance in your life. Because life will always hit hard, but you got to get up and move forward. Now, this is the blue zone. You are more relaxed. Your mind is fit enough to get you where you want. There's a sense of control over your life. You are thriving. There's purpose and direction. You live a meaningful life. You are happy. And there's an overflow of good emotions, which keeps you positive about life. And to tell you the truth, this is where I find myself. Today, as I tell you, I'm in the blue zone, but I was in the red zone for many years in my life because all I wanted to do in my life is to be compliant. And while I was focusing on being compliant, being a compliant son, be a compliant CEO, be a compliant this, could be a compliant that, I was rejecting and neglecting myself. I realized that you can be compliant to your highest capacity when you are first taking care of yourself. Take care of your mind. Take care of yourself. Now, how do you move from the red zone to the blue zone quickly? How do you move from the red zone to get into the blue zone? Ladies and gentlemen, the first one is repetition. You need to repeat everything that you are interested in. Listen, if you want to become successful, there's always this saying that if you want to be successful, you have to start acting like you are successful now. So you need to continuously repeat this cycle, to repeat the things that you want in your life, to repeat the information that you want. So one of the greatest exercises that I bring here is self-affirmation. Please practice self-affirmation. How does that look like? You wake up in the morning, before you engage in any activity, you wake up in the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you say, you are beautiful. You are an amazing person. You are capable. You are happy. You are joyful. And you repeat that thing. You repeat that process, at least for 21 days. You repeat. And as you repeat it, it becomes a reality to you. It becomes what you believe. It becomes a program to you. And now suddenly you will start seeing yourself behaving like someone who's joyful, like someone who's an overcomer, like someone who can achieve anything. Why? It's because you repeat it. What are the behaviors that you are repeating in your life? What are the emotions, the feelings that you are repeating in your life? Because everything requires practice. We need to learn how to practice positive emotions. So what are the things in your life that you consistently repeat? What are the words that you consistently repeat? When you see your children, when you see your loved ones, are the first words, you are terrible, why are you doing this? Are you always fighting? What's going on? What do you repeat in your life? Because whatever you constantly repeat in your life becomes your second nature. So what are you repeating? And I would suggest that please be careful of what you repeat in your life. Because whatever you repeat is what you will become most successful in. There's a story I like to use of Usain Bolt to say the first time when he competed on the Olympics, he was number 5. So basically, he was a loser in the Olympics. The first time he competed. And then there's a documentary where he was showing, where he shows the people his exercises every day, how he builds his mental resilience, the diet that he eats, that he had to repeat these things over and over and over again to achieve the objective that he wants to be the best in the world. Do you want to live the best life? Do you want to be joyful? Look at the things that you repeat, and repeat the things that will make you live that life. Every morning, one of the things that I do is I wake up in the morning, early in the morning, I look at myself in the mirror and I say, champion, you are great. Champion, you are amazing. Champion, you will achieve all your goals, regardless of what I'm going through. The other part is interpretation. How do you perceive circumstances in your life? How do you give meaning to everything that is happening in your life? The moment you give negative meaning to every circumstance in your life, you will always be in the red zone. You will always be anxious. You will always experience excessive stress because everything that comes to you becomes a negative thing. Have you been exposed to someone who's negative, regardless of what's going on? They always find something that is negative to say. They always find something that is negative. Let me tell you something. It's the programming of their brain. Sometimes they are unconsciously doing this. They always have a negative thing to spot out. And I hope you're not that person. Today, I'm encouraging you. Learn how to develop positive interpretation in your life. Learn how to give circumstances a positive meaning. When you go through a hard time, maybe you could say to yourself, this is an opportunity for me to grow. And believe me, that will help you. It will help how you're going to respond to the situation. But the moment you have a difficult situation and you say it's over, it's going to be over. So there are many ways in which we can learn how to build resilience. But please be careful of the things that you repeat in your life. And look at how you interpret circumstances in your life. Now, there's another presentation. You will see that presentation that I also sent through to you, where I'm actually talking about mental conflicts. And the reason why that is so important, ladies and gentlemen, is that every single day of our lives, as humans, we are exposed to challenges, we are exposed to battles, we are exposed to many responsibilities, we are exposed to many things. Let's be honest with ourselves, we are exposed to many things. And sometimes our inability to fix these problems makes us have what we call mind battles, mental conflicts. So what we say, mental conflicts are battles that you fight with on a daily basis and nobody knows about it. It's happening in your head. It's happening right here. Now, when you are in the red zone, when you are not taking care of yourself, when you are in the red zone, you're going to experience many mental conflicts, because many things in your life are not going to be in alignment. Things are not going to be in order in your life. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to experience lots of battles mentally. Whoops. I don't know if you feel me, but I'm passionate about this because I see this a lot all over the world. It doesn't matter where I go. What destroys people the most is not what is happening on the outside. It's what is happening in here. Woo. You gotta be careful what is going on in here. Please, please be careful of how you fight in your mind. But you need to fight. You need to fight. Listen to me. You need to fight. I'm encouraging you to fight. You need to fight. You are the most important thing in this life. You can achieve your purpose. You can achieve your goal. You need to be intentional in investing in your money, and you need to fight. Your loved ones might not know what are you fighting, but you need to fight those battles. Now, mental conflicts happen when there's no alignment in your life. And I want to say, as I said during the presentation, when something is not in alignment, write it down. Whatever issue, whatever problem you believe is affecting you negatively, write that down. Write it down. And after writing it down, give yourself a chance to think about it on how you are going to fix it. But do not make a negative conclusion or judgment immediately, which is something that many people do. That's why they cannot fix their problems. That's why they cannot overcome their problems. That's why they cannot be happy. That's why they cannot enjoy life. Because every time there's something that is hard that they are dealing with, they come up with a negative conclusion. Don't do that. Ask a question. How did I get here? How can I fix this? How can I move forward? This is so important. Now, to build your mental resilience, as I said, be careful of what you repeat in your life. Repeat wanted programs. When you are learning how to drive, you have to repeat that about 5 to 10 times. You have to take about 20 lessons. That's the power of repetition. Repeat what you want to see in your life. All right? This is so important. And one thing in 30 seconds that I want to say to you. Do not compromise yourself for anything. Do not compromise yourself for anybody. Because even if you say to yourself that you're compromising yourself for your loved ones, let me tell you, you are not helping them. You can only be the best father, the best mother, the best spouse, the best, professor, the best doctor when you are taking care of yourself. Then you can give us your best. But if you don't take care of yourself, you will not give us your best. So to be the best in your responsibilities, in how you function, take care of you. And if you are in South Africa, I will encourage you to invest in yourself. In our country, it's a taboo for people to invest in their mental well-being. And that is a problem. So from me to you, maybe this might not sound professional, but maybe you need to hear it. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I want to say to you, if you don't hear this, know that I love you and you are capable and you are not alone. And I promise you, you can live a beautiful life. You just have to first look at yourself and say, I am beautiful. And then you will have a beautiful life. I'm sorry that I had to press all this information all at once, but I hope I gave you a good presentation that will help you see value in yourself, because you are the most important thing. I don't care what is happening around you. If you are not taking care of you, everything else will fall apart. You are the best. You are wonderful. I love you. You are the greatest. Listen, go enjoy life. You have challenges, but you're an overcomer. Cheers. Over to the team.
Thank you so much, Coach Neo. What an insightful webinar, an insightful session. We really, truly do thank you for coming out today and helping us spread mental health awareness. Now, we already have a few questions in the chat box. I'm going to read them out, and then I will give over to you to please answer. So, Prof. Solomon Ratamani says, how do you define resilience? Are you born with it, or do you develop it by training?
You develop it by training. The reason why many people believe that they are born with it is because maybe they are born into a family where there's resilience. So while they were growing up as little people or little children, they got these programs, they got this information that enabled them to build some sort of resilience. But you build it through training. You need to build it through training. You have to train.
Thank you. I see Evermore also added to say resilience is basically to have the courage to face challenges and conflicts that we face on a daily basis. To also have the skills on how to deal with stressful situations. Resilience is not born with. You actually develop it through trainings. Thank you so much for that, Evermore.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Deliwe also says, resilience is also about an individual being able to flourish in adversity, rise above your circumstance.
Yes. That's beautiful.
We have another question.
Beautiful.
We have another question from David. He would like to know, other people, when they are in the red zone, they believe that substance use is the answer. What is it that can substitute substance use?
Okay. You'll receive the presentation. It's just that I couldn't go through it of the mental conflicts. I addressed that issue. I say that what happens as people is that we are bound to different activities. So we do different stuff. We love different things. Now, many people, when they experience difficult situations, they experience excessive stress, they go into a state where they use substance. They abuse substance. Now, even in our centers, I always say to people, I don't have a problem with people that actually go and choose the right activity to do. The problem is when you choose something that is destroying you even more. So when you choose, for example, alcohol to deal with your situations, to your circumstance, the question is it helping you or is it making everything worse? So I would like to say, maybe you need to sit down and say, okay, what are the activities that I can do that will help me when I'm in this state of mindset to say, okay, now I'm feeling bad. Now I'm not feeling okay. What can I do now? Choose good activities. Some people will say, well, I'm not, when I'm not feeling well, I'm going to jog. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to do something that makes me go forward, something that is more progressive. So what I'm saying is, do not choose any substance. Do not choose any activity that is taking you back. So maybe some will say, you know what, I'm going to do drugs and I'm going to, the question is, you as an individual, is this progressive for you or not? Right? Because it's a decision, it's a personal decision. So is this progressive to you or not? And I see in our centers, the problem, the problem is not, it's not really people wanting something to do when they are not feeling well. The problem is that they choose the thing that takes them back. But think about it. What can you do instead of using that substance? Because there are thousands and thousands of activities that you can do, but you must be willing to explore them.
Thank you so much, Coach Neil. I will try to swing it a little bit and allow some people with their hands raised to also ask questions. I will just randomly pick Puselezo Mufukeng. Your hand is up. Please unmute yourself and you can go on and ask your question. Puselezo Mufukeng. Okay, I will give Khanyi Sibiya a chance. You may please unmute yourself. Okay, I will move on to the chat box. So we have so many questions for you, Coach Neil. So Amira would like to know, how do we as therapists ensure that we take care of our own mental health when we are so consumed with taking care of the mental health of our patients and even often forget about ourselves?
Woo! I'm glad that I received that question tonight. I was hoping somebody will ask that question. Because I always say, someone once asked me, but when you're working with so millions of people, because I do group training and program training, so when you're working with so many people globally, how do you deal with your own situations? How do you deal with your own, emotions and everything? You know what I do? I also get help. As a therapist, I will advise you, have someone that holds you accountable emotionally. Have someone that invests in you. You see, I'm training every single day globally, many people, but even there's a 2 hour when I'm being equipped. There's a 2 hour where I can share my emotion. I'm actually getting help. This is the powerful statement I'll say to you. Everybody needs somebody. Do not do this thing alone. Everybody needs somebody. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Thank you so much, Coach Neil. Thank you so much to the people in the audience. I see that I am able to unmute participants. Khanyi Sibiya, I have unmuted you. You may please go ahead and ask your question. Khanyi Sibiya.
Oh, Jesus.
Hello, you are free to please ask your question. We can all hear you. Okay, I will move on to the next person. Tanya says, thank you so much, Coach Neil. This was enlightening and empowering at the same time. You sound very much like a life coach. Is that the service that you provide? Thanks again. I am asking because I know that there are certain skills like resilience that people may need guidance on.
Okay. Well, many people will say I'm a coach because that's how I started. Maybe the passion, I don't know. But on a daily basis, what I do is mental wellness training, have lots of programs, stress management, many programs where I do training through organizations. I do training, mental wellness training. So that's what I do on a daily basis. That's my life right there. Just helping people build mental wellness.
Thank you. Notando says, thank you, Coach Neo. I needed this and I'm grateful I joined in time and I am empowered, really. Thank you.
It's an honor.
Elizabeth, thank you. Elizabeth says, my English professor believed that Black people are resilient because of the background that they are born in. This really disturbed me because it set the pressure to withstand a lot of things. This opened a door for subtle abuse. How can we guard against this?
Okay. There are many things you're going to hear in the world. It's like when I started, I said there's a lot of information out there, and you cannot really control the information that is rotating around the world. But as I said, that you can control you. What I'll say is test every information, test every concept. So when somebody says you are naturally resilient, you need to actually find out, what do you mean by this? I don't understand. Give me information. I don't understand what does this mean? So test every concept, test every perception, test every information, especially when it comes to your mental well-being. Because we can come and say a lot of things to you, right? Even everything that I've said to you tonight, I will encourage you to go and test it. Is this relevant for my life? Is this good? Is this, whatever this guy said, is this really true? Is it working for me? Test everything. Because someone else might say, well, that's true. We are Black. We've seen many things. Therefore, we are naturally resilient. And someone will say, but no ways. This is exposing us to more abuse, to more of this and to more of that. So you find your truth in all of this information that is around the world, right? But test information. And the moment you disagree with something, you see that you don't resonate with something, you just stand against it. You say, I don't believe in this. This is not true. Actually, this is abuse. I don't stand for this. We have to build our mental resilience. All of us, no matter where we come from, we need to.
Thank you, Coach Neil. We are, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, running out of time, but we will take just one more question. So a question from Kayleen. Wow, Coach Nero, your passion is just wow. Thank you. This was so insightful and definitely reflective. I hope more webinars like this will be facilitated this year. My question is, how can agencies get into contact with you? Should we be interested for a workshop as such to be facilitated with all employees?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was actually muted. I'm sorry. We give many packages. We give whatever you need, but we do it with the organization, right? So please speak to the team. They will give you my information if you need it. But we offer all the necessary packages for organizations, for individuals. But I'll say we do it through this team. Please speak to the foundation. They will give you the information that you need. And from there, we will talk. We'll see what happens. But speak to them.
Thank you so much, Coach Neil. We still do have quite a bit of questions, a lot of compliments in the chat. Thank you once again for taking out your time to speak on this very, very relevant topic. Michelle says, thank you for a great presentation. I'm also wondering if we'll have access to a recording. Would love to share it with colleagues and family. I can assure you, Michelle, that you will have access to the recording. We will be ending off here, ladies and gentlemen. To all of the questions that were unanswered, please do leave them in the chat box and they will be answered on our Massive Viewer website. We do apologize for those questions that we did not get to tonight, but we are running out of time and want to stick to the time. Thank you so much once again, Coach Neo, for joining us tonight, and we hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much.